Thank you very much. This is certainly very humbling. I came here expecting to hear your very choshev Rav, and you're very, very blessed to have Rabbi Yalkut to be your Mardasra here. I remember we were both Rabbonim. I had my first stellar in Richmond in the Young Israel Shul the same time the Rabbi Yalkut was at KBI. And I remember every time I would come, even Mincha Marav, I'd learn something. And he was Machnes Orchim. We would go to his house for Shabbos Sudas all the time. A very dear friend, but also a very distinguished and very choshev Talmud Chacham. So it's very humbling for me, a simple guy like me, to come speak Ba'asra Damar. But I see he's not here, so I'm disappointed. So you have to listen. So I'm very humbled, though, that you asked me to speak. So I appreciate that. And I noticed when I walked in on Shavuos that the Rav Shlita is speaking about the inyan of Geris, which of course is a big inyan of Shavuos. That's what we all became gerim on that day. And of course we read Megillus Root. But in this week's Sedra, it says Ki gerim v'toishavim atemi modi. That the reason for the mitzvah of returning after Yovel, the achuzot, back to the people, is because you are gerim and toshavim. You're strangers and residents with me, with Hashem. So the Degel Machane Ephraim, that was the grandson of the Baal Shem Tov, he writes in the Sefer that there's a remez that he can understand. He heard from Chochem Echod, he heard from his particular sage, that there's a pasuk in Tehillim that says, Ger anochi ba'aretz al taster mimenu mitzvosecha. It says, I'm a stranger in the land. David HaMelech says in T'mani Apeh, in Kuf Yud Tes, it says, I'm a stranger in the land, do not hide your mitzvos from me. So he says, we know the way the world is. A ger is a person without a nation, because really, even though he came close to join the Jewish people, he really doesn't always fit in all the ways. I know my wife is Giores, and she says she feels like she's suffering from imposter syndrome. But even though she's a very choshev, I always say I'm only a Rebbe because I married a Rebbetzin. So it doesn't matter that she's a Giores, but the way she feels in her humility and her anivus. So the truth of the matter is, you don't feel so much alancement. I remember when I learned in yeshiva, there were a few guys who were gerim, and there was one guy in particular, never told anybody else he was a ger, except the other gerim. Then he would tell them. So a ger feels like he can't really connect 100%, not to a goy, because he's not a goy anymore, and not to a born Jew, even though he's 100% Jewish. He's just as Jewish as anyone who's born Jewish. Sometimes it's maybe not nice to say, maybe more so in certain ways. I remember Rav Leff in Yeshiva, he told us that there was a boy who was being bullied because his mother was a Gioris. So he said, Vosepis. They said, well, the kid said in the day school, you're not really Jewish because Rabbi Leff just made your mother Jewish. He said, no, someone comes to shul, they say their mother's Jewish. All right, it's a chazaka. They're going to say such a thing. How do we really know? We don't. But you, I know you're Jewish because I was there. But the truth is, the psychology of a ger, he feels like he can't really connect to the born Jew 100% and can't connect to a goy anymore. But then when he finds another ger, then he can really bear out his own heart and say who he is. So the same thing, Hashem says, the Degel Machane Ephraim, the Kadosh Baruch Hu is a stranger in this world. He is in the world, but not of the world, as people like to say. And there's really nowhere for the Shekhinah to rest in this big world that the Kadosh Baruch Hu created, because there are very few real tzaddikim who can really have Hashras HaShekhinah. So that's what David HaMelech said. Ger anochi ba'aretz. Hashem, you're a ger, you're a stranger in this world, I'm also a ger. So therefore, I'm not the toishev in Olam Hazeh, I'm just passing by, like everybody knows the story of the Chavetz Chaim. Where's all your treasures? I left it, I have it in Olam Haba. So in Olam Hazeh, I'm just a sojourner. I'm just passing through. So therefore, says David HaMelech, Al taster mimenu mitzvosecha. Just like a ger doesn't keep secrets that he keeps from Goyim and from Eden, born Eden, might keep secrets, but from another ger, he can bear out his own whole heart. So too, David HaMelech asks Hashem Yisbarach, I'm just like you. I'm a stranger in this world. Therefore, al taster mimeni mitzvosecha. Don't hide your mitzvos from me, because this way, this is a connection. And that's what it says, ki gerim v'teshavim, that you are both strangers and sojourners and residents in this land. That if you're like a ger, like you're a stranger in Olam Hazeh, then you're a toishiv in Olam Haba. Then you're a resident in the next world. And then, what says gerim v'teshavim, it says in this week's Parsha in Behar, Atemi Madi, you're with me, says Hashem. Because just like Hashem is a stranger in this world, so too you're with me. If you feel like you're just passing through, like the Chavetz Chaim said, so then al taster mikem mitzvosai, then Hashem won't hide mitzvahs, and we should be zeicha to be able to learn Torah and to understand we're just passing through here. Of course, we're in this world to make it a better place. But with all the mitzvahs we do, we be a light to the nations and to the whole world. But we have to never forget about that goal. And in that way, even when we're here in Olam Hazeh, Hashem will reveal to us all of His Torah mitzvahs. Rabbi Chananya ben Akash Omer took the Baruch Hu l'zakay sis Yisrael leficha kivel l'b'tir mitzvah shneimar adonai chavetz l'man tzidkay yagdil turn v'yadir.